Well, hello everyone. How are you? Ron Theoden here. Boy, my hair looks crazy. It looks crazy. Looks like I got a mohawk going on. It's what happens when you don't put your gel in your hair, right? Hey, my name is Ron Theoden and welcome to Uncuffed. Tonight we want to talk about, I'm not going to be on too long, but I want to talk about, are you teachable? Do you have what it takes to be a student? Right? All of us in life, we go through our lives wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to become successful. But I'm going to ask you something. Are you teachable? Are you in a place in your life where you can be a student? I firmly believe that you should always be ready to be a student. Always be ready to be teachable. Always be ready for someone to give you some great advice, some great suggestions to help you along your way of success. But the question I'm asking you, are you teachable? And how do you define that? How do you know that you are in a place in your own journey, in your own life, where you can take in what somebody has to offer you without taking it personal, without thinking it's degrading to you? Or do you feel maybe you're too good to be taught anything, or maybe you think you know it all? A lot of times in life when we're young, we go through that process of where nobody can tell us anything, and then we find out we're in trouble, find out we should have listened, found out that what we don't know. Let me get a drink here. We don't know what the heck we're talking about. It doesn't happen until later in life when we realize, gosh dang it, I wish I would have listened to that person when they were telling me what to do and what not to do. So my question to you right now is, are you teachable? I'm going to give you two things that will help you determine if you're teachable. The first one is really clear and simple. Are you humble? Are you humble enough to realize that you don't know it all? Are you in a place in your life that you're at where you can recognize your own weaknesses in life? Are you humble enough to acknowledge that, you know what? I need help. I need somebody to help me become successful. And now I don't know what your definition of success is. I don't know what your struggles are, but guess what? I do know this. Each and every one of us, as we're growing through life, as you're on this continuous improvement plan in life, you are struggling with something. Each and every one of us, you have not arrived to the level of your greatest potential. This is a journey that has no end, right? Until you buried in under, you can't put a period at the end of knowing who you are. Check this out, right? It says success is never a one-man show. Success is never a one-man show. Are you humble enough to allow somebody to speak life into your life, to where it will help you launch your vision, launch your dreams? Because each and every one of us, as we grow, as we come to a place in our lives where maybe, everything you've been doing thus far has not worked out for you. Have you asked somebody to help? Have you humbled yourself? You know what? I know a time in my life, if I was lost and I'm driving the car and I didn't know where I was going, guess what? Man, I had so much pride, I wasn't going to ask anybody for advice or how to get to where I'm going. I'm going to figure it out on my own. Is that where you're at? Are you still reading or putting something together without reading the instructions? Are you that type of individual? Well, you know what? You say, I don't need those instructions. I can figure this out on my own. Then you realize that when you try to put something together and you think you got it all together, you always have some extra pieces or extra screws or extra nuts or bolts left over from the project you were trying to build, because why? You did not read the instructions. Is pride stopping you from asking for great advice, asking for help, asking for somebody to give you a suggestion? You know what the downfall of this is? As I said it, pride. Things that will tell you your ego is in the way. It's stopping you from listening to somebody who's going to help you. So the first one was be humble. Be humble. Walk in humility. Walk with an attitude of gratitude, to where, you know what? If it wasn't for somebody helping me, you wouldn't be where you're at. I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for the people who surrounded themselves and spoke life into me to help me and to help me accountable. Ooh, that's number two. Right. Are you willing to be held accountable? The first one was, are you humble enough to be taught? Right. The second one's, are you willing to be held accountable? Because it's not enough to just have knowledge and you got and to be believing that you can do it without accountability. You need to have somebody hold you to the fire, hold you and make you accountable to the knowledge and the wisdom that you have. Because if you're just gaining knowledge and you're not doing anything with it, and no one's trying to help you harness your greatest potential, harness your energy, and so you can succeed, then you're like a cloud without rain. You're like just a fluff in the air. And I don't want that for you. I want you to become successful. And you got to be humble, but you got to be held accountable. You got to allow somebody to challenge your thinking. You got to allow people to come and speak life into you. Are you teachable? right? Can you be taught something new? Or do you believe you've fully arrived and you've done everything you possibly can, right? How old are you? I don't know how old you are. If you are 50 or 60 or 70, I'm working with men and women who are way older than I am. And guess what? I'm their mentor. I'm their life coach. I'm speaking life into them. I'm helping them understand the possibilities and the opportunities around them, because why? Maybe they missed something. Maybe something was so traumatic that happened in their life and they weren't able to get over it. So one of my jobs is to help people overcome the tragedy in their lives by helping them see what the greatest potential is within them. Now, as a life coach, I want that for them. I want them to be free of the pain and suffering they experienced in the past, because your past does not define who you are. But they're humble enough to say, you know what, I need help. I need help in overcoming this trauma that I've faced in my life. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Please help me. And when's the last time you asked somebody to help you with something you're doing? When's the last time you humbled yourself enough to ask somebody, hey, can you help me get from point A to point B? I've been working at this for a while, but I just can't seem to have a breakthrough. I want to encourage you tonight that if you're humble enough to ask somebody for help, maybe you're walking in depression. I don't know. Maybe you're beating yourself up and you haven't been able to deal with the things that are bothering you. Stop whatever it is you're doing. Talk to somebody about it. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up. Don't knock yourself out, right? Don't block your own 3-point, right? Get up, pick up that ball bat, and get ready to swing, because there's going to be a lot of things that life is going to throw at you, but that doesn't mean you're out of the game. If you're humble enough to be taught, if you're humble enough to be a good student, right? One of the characteristics of a great mentee, right? The student is somebody who is willing to take criticism, who's willing to take advice, who's willing to try something new, who's willing to pivot in their life. If whatever it is you're doing is not working, then pivot. And maybe you don't know how to pivot. Maybe you need somebody to help guide you and direct you on how to pivot, right? And that's okay, because what we're talking about is something that is learned behavior. It's natural, right? Watch this. It's natural to believe you know it all. It's natural to say nobody has to teach you anything. It's natural to come to a place where, you know what, it's my way or the highway. That's natural thinking. That's that grown adult with little children issues or little child issues. Children think like that. You know what, I can do it on my own. And that's how kids think. But when you become an adult, are you a healthy adult? Are you a grown man or a grown woman with little child issues? I'm going to encourage you again. Humble yourself. Put yourself in a place where you can be teachable. Now, here's the saying. When the student is ready, the teacher comes. But if you're not ready to really sit in the chair and be taught, the teacher's not going to show up. But when you're humble enough, right, and you're willing to be held accountable for for your life, you're really to allow people to guide and direct and empower you and inspire you and motivate you to change the course of your life, to do something different, to manifest a different level of thinking, right? When you're ready to do that, when you're ready to put everything down and willing to listen to somebody who's going to speak life into you and show you key steps on how to get from point A to point B and how to activate those certain principles that you need to know in order to be set free of whatever's holding you back, right? If you can put yourself in a place that can help ignite you to the next level of your life, let's launch your vision, let's launch your dream. And if you're willing to be held accountable and humble, the teacher will come. I promise you, the teacher will show up. When you least expect it, somebody will come. I want to give you a story. So I was invited to a meeting at this certain city and at the mayor's office. And so there was other people in this meeting. And as I was walking into, I'm in a line, there's people going in front of me and there's people behind me. But as we all walked into this room, there was, everybody went through the same way. But as I walked in, I noticed there was a marker on the floor, a white marker, a marker for the whiteboard, right? And an erasable marker. And the people that were in front of me, they seen it too, but they overlooked that erasable marker. They overlooked that erasable marker. I seen it. I didn't think nothing of it, so I bent down and I picked it up and I put it where it belonged. I put it away on the little shelf there on the whiteboard, right? So I went down and sat down, and and thought nothing of it. But then during a while in this meeting and we were taking a break, a gentleman came up to me and asked me, why did you pick up that marker that was on the floor? And the answer was simple, because that's not where it belonged. I put it away because it belonged on the shelf of that whiteboard. Picked it up, put it away, no big deal. I put it away, right? And so he looked at me and said, I purposely put that marker down. I purposely put it there to see who would pick it up, because he said to himself that whoever picked it up, he was going to help become successful. He was going to help that person fulfill their desires. Who was going to help them in their thinking of success? Now, this was a meeting with a lot of business people and a lot of other big hat boys, right? Whatever you call them, movers and shakers in the community. I was just invited and I was so privileged to be there. And here he was, he said, so I'm picking you. I want to help you get to where you want to go. I want to help you develop your thinking. I want to help you. You know, this was a businessman. This was a businessman who started businesses all across the world. And all I did was obedient. When I seen that marker on the floor, I picked it up. Now, I don't know why the people in front of me didn't pick it up. I don't know why they looked down, they saw it, and they overlooked it, right? Because there's another saying I want to give you. He who is faithful in the little things will be faithful in the big things. Are you faithful in those little things, right? Do you take the trash out when it needs to be taken out, or do you need to be told? Do you pick up after yourself? Those little things in life. He who is faithful, or she who is faithful in the little things, will be faithful in the big things. Well, you know, I want to be faithful in the little things, so therefore I can be faithful in the big things. I can't take on the big things if I haven't been able to conquer the little things in my life. Are you humble enough to be taught something new? Are you willing to be held accountable, right, for the knowledge that you have and for where you want to go? Because in order to be successful, you might need somebody to come and tell you, hey, it's time to get up, right? You might need somebody to tell you, hey, did you work on that today? You might need somebody, hey, did you do this today? And hold you accountable so that you can meet your deadlines, so you can meet your goals, so you can reach the greatest potential that is within you. Sometimes you need that coach. Sometimes you need that mentor, somebody to root for you, somebody to tell you can do it. And that's okay, because guess what? Success is never a one-man show. All of us need a cheerleader. All of us need somebody rooting for us. Who's rooting for you? And if you don't have somebody rooting for you in your corner, know this right now. Subscribe to my channel. Like this channel. Right? Hit that notification bell, because guess what? I'm rooting for you. I want you to be successful. I want to help you in any way I can. I want to be able to tell people right now that you are successful, because why? You were humble and you were willing to be held accountable. Hey, that's the word I have for you today. That's all I got right now. So listen, subscribe to this channel. If you like what I say, share this channel. You know what to do. Give me thumbs up. Hit the notification bell. When I go live, you'll know when I go live. When I got something new, you'll know when I got something new. So thank you for joining me. Help me grow this channel. I'm counting on you just like you're counting on me. Hey, my name is Ron Tirina, and this is Uncuffed, TYRO Uncuffed. Good night, everyone.